IPMAT Indore, IPM 2025. We're going to dive down into what this exam is. Before that, an idea about the course. It's a 5-year integrated course offered by a few of the IIMs. Wonderful course, a beautiful option. You're effectively getting an admission into the MBA cycle ahead of time. Beautiful option to have for students of class 12 who are thinking about an MBA at some point of time. What are we going to do? We're going to dive down to IPMAT IIM Indoors exam. What does this contain? So it has 3 sections: quantitative ability, multiple choice questions; quantitative ability, short answer questions; 2 math sections; and verbal ability section, which is again multiple choice, 45 questions, 30, 15, and 45, totally 90 questions. Each question has, you get +4 if you get the answer right, -1 if you get the answer wrong. If for the short answer questions, there are no negative mark. Only for MCQ questions, there are negative marks. And so there are section cutoffs for each of these, independent time limits for each of these. So it's like taking 3 exams, one after the other. And so it's not 1 2-hour paper, but 3 40-minute papers. And so take this, attack this, finish this, take this, attack this, finish this, take this, attack this, finish this. And so the exam is reasonably challenging. The verbal section is more straightforward. It's probably going to be the more larger scoring section. The cutoffs are higher, the score marks are higher. These 2 are lesser scoring sections, but they are crucial. So the scores also get normalized. So even though verbal is the larger scoring section, it doesn't mean that verbal determines your overall score. There's a way of normalizing that score which the Indo guys use, which is also very useful. Right? Brilliant. So this is how the paper is laid out. Now, each section is time bound, so it's 40 minutes per section. Something to keep in mind. So writing 3 papers. Level of difficulty is higher. It's not a very easy paper, especially the math part is properly tough, properly challenging. Right? So this is something that you need to prepare for or amp up before the exam and properly study. Right? What are the typical cutoffs? I'm not saying 2025 will be like this, but broadly this is what you're looking for. So the short answer question is probably 24 marks, 35 marks, 100 marks plus. So you have to get 6 to 7 questions right to clear the cutoff. You have to get 12, 13 questions right to clear the cutoff. And 6 to 7 out of 15, 12 to 13 out of 30. Here you have to get close to 40 marks, 40 questions right, because there will be something, close to 30 questions right, because there will be something that could go wrong. The verbal section, as I said, is simpler and higher scoring. Something to keep in mind. So your marks are going to get, overall marks are going to be pulled by this, but you have to clear the section cutoffs for this, and then they get normalized to where you qualify beyond a certain level, you get calls now. Right? Lovely. This is for different categories. Go through this. This is not cast in stone. This is not a cutoff that they give ahead of time. This is a competitive exam. So this gives you a sense of what you need to get, what you need to score to be in the mix, to get called for interviews. Right? So again, this year exam could be tougher than this, easier than this, in which case the cutoffs will go up and down. Again, not cast in stone, but to give you a ballpark for how much you should attempt, how much you should get. And overall, you're looking to get close to 300 marks for general category students to have a shot at the interviews and have a chance of securing admission for this program. Going on to individual sections, if you go and think about the verbal section, give or take half the questions or little more than half the questions are reading comprehension questions. You read the passage and answer questions based on that. The next weightage question, about 1/4 of the questions are grammar based. And verbal ability comes after that, which is para jumble, 4 sentences. You have to make them into a paragraph. In which sequence does it make sense? That comes here. Then vocab based questions is the final bunch. And so, just to reiterate, the verbal section is likely that it's going to be the high scoring section. So there are 45 questions in this. 45 into 4 is 180 marks. It's very much possible that half your overall marks or more than that will end up coming from this, and more than half. And because it's a easier scoring section of the 3. What goes into quant? Arithmetic forms a giant chunk. Then algebra, geometry, then number systems. These three are all right. This is a giant chunk. And this is very, very, very important because very often students who go prepare for IPMAT understand that there are a ton of questions from functions and coordinate geometry and trigonometry and complicated questions and ideas from reminders and probability. And so the probability and reminders will come here. Trigonometry and coordinate geometry and mensuration will come here. Inequalities, functions will come here. And these questions are challenging. But the biggest driver here is percentages, profit and loss, ratios, mixtures, averages, simple questions. And so the level of difficulty in the IPMAT exam varies wildly. And so there are 45 questions in math. There are typically about 20 to 25 of them that are very easy to attempt, and 10, 12 of them that are impossibly tough. And so if you get stuck in those impossibly tough questions, it becomes a nightmare. But if you take this 20-25, get almost all of them right, you're waltzing through. And so have your strategy, have your preparation idea anchored around the notion that question selection, deciding which questions to attempt and go for and crack, is super important. Make sure you anchor your preparation not based on what you have done for your JE prep or what you have done for your IPMAT course prep, where you have gravitated and suddenly and figured out ways of understanding polynomials, functions, trigonometric equations, coordinate geometry, conic sections, all of that. They're all important, they're all exciting, they're all fun, but they should not be the place you go to get your easy marks. You should gobble this up, put this in the bag, and then attack these. And there are going to be easy questions in these sections also, but by and large, remains the scoring section. These form the tougher sections. And so, out of 45 questions, any sincere and reasonably math savvy class 12 student will and should be able to attempt 30 of them, and 20 of them will come under downright doable category. So if you get those 20 and get all of them right, then you have a chance. You'll clear section cutoffs. You can go to the interview hall with the decent chance of landing an admit. And so plan your preparation around putting this in the bag and keeping one idea on question selection. Right. Finally, they have a personal interview at the end of it. So you get your aptitude test score, which has a 2/3 weightage, give or take, and 1/3 for personal interviews. So the personal interview process is also there. It's going to come later on. One hurdle at a time. We'll clear the exam first and then go to that. But that is also there. Dates, the exam is on 12th May. This is the most important date. Everything else is either tentative or not that relevant. This is the most important date. And then you have results, interviews, all of that. Fine. So those of you who are in class 12 or parents of students in class 12, do up some reading on it. Ask us whatever questions, queries you may have on comments. We'll try to answer them. This is an excellent exam, excellent course to go for. This should definitely be one of your options. Right? I'm not saying everybody should go for integrated MBA. Probably not a course that everybody should try or think about or attempt. But it's definitely something that parents should know. So should do the research on this. What is this? What is this whole category of exams? What is IIM Indore Rohtak? What are Jammu and Bodh doing? What is IPMAT Indore, IPMAT Rohtak? What is JIPMAT? When are these exams happening? What are these patterns? Can we get previous year questions? Do one round of thinking about it, because it could be that one brilliant option that sets up your career in undergraduation and post-graduation. Best wishes.